Thanks so much, UB. I think Alexis makes a really good point. Also, I don't know if we've touched on it, but shout out Alexis and the rest of the team for winning the Challengers match.
Yeah.
Which is so freaking dope, by the way. And she's also an incredible task analyst, and we're so glad to have her on the show. She makes a really good point. How in the world do you stop Sato? That's so much easier said than done.
Yeah. And you know what? You make a great point there, Doug, and you ask a great question. I just wish that I could get. Well, no, I just wish that I could get some of that praise every once in a while, Doug. That's what I'm looking for.
Listen, it's the
no,
first
it's fine. Let's do agent
duo.
select. No, let's do agent select. It'll be fine. We're going into Ascent here, and what I'm looking at is Leviathan, what they're going to be playing, because Okeanos in the break between stage 1 and 2 was playing some Deadlock on this map. So there's a little double Senti action, but it would be a different look for us than we saw on the last one with him in the smoke slot usually. There's also going to be Sato on the Yoru, so these hovers, don't trust them for even a second. It'll actually be Okeanos over onto the KO, so going back to real basics here on Ascent with some double initiator action.
It's the vanilla comps.
Yeah.
It's
vanilla comps with Cypher to mix it up instead of Killjoy. Isn't that awesome?
Whoa.
It's blowing your mind.
Really pushing innovation here, are we?
Do you remember how these comps play? It's like you get an operator on your jet.
Right.
KO is pretty good for early info and stalling a hit.
Yeah, can you help me? Because I'm not familiar with how this works. What are you expecting out of these comps?
Don't make me do this. Don't make me. Although I stand by it, it would be great to one day see perfectly default Ascent comps. You know, on the 10-year anniversary of Valorant maybe, and we just cast it like we've never seen any of these plays before. It's like they're droning B main to post the up on the line.
And did you know the Jet could dash over on the HUD onto B and then slot? Yeah,
that's crazy.
I will say this. For as much as people give the vanilla Ascent comp a hard time, I genuinely enjoy it. The reason why is because it becomes a chess match at that point. You know what's expected. You know what the other team is likely bringing. And a lot of the pressure is on the IGLs to call it effectively.
Default Ascent is kind of like vinyl, right? You know, it was great back in the day. It faded out for a little bit. We're playing like double Senti and these types of things.
Wait,
but
so what's double
Senti? It's
Senti?
having its moment. It's back.
Is the double Senti an MP3 player?
No, it's kind of just like streaming, because I do think it's the best, but it doesn't have that, you know, emotional value to me.
Right. It doesn't hit quite the same way.
No.
It is good to see people back here in the Riot Games Arena. You guys look good, and I miss you guys. It's so good to be back. We are loading into Ascent. Loud is going to start on the attacking side. We mentioned again, the comps are standard. They are what you would expect, and that's where you're going to look at King and you're going to look at Robbie to call their way through this.
It was fun watching them working through the rounds back on Bind. Now get to see LEV call for an early mid aggro. We've got 5 players ready to fight out potentially, even though it's just going to be Robbie's drone moving into the space. The rest of the team has snuck in B, although snuck is a bad word because they all got tacked up by that knife.
Now they're going to try to funnel their way back in. LEV are. The Loud have already worked their way out onto the site. You've got to be cautious here about how much further they scale up.
Whoa. We're going spawn from Luke Show. He was getting active with his Deeg.
Doesn't fully commit to it, takes a step back, wisely so.
Spike planted.
The interesting thing here is that LEV are going to be able to approach this retake from multiple fronts. Okeanos has been dealt with already. There's the swing on the other side. Verdi looking for it. Tex there to greet it. And now, just off of that, they huddle back.
All of Loud move back into Boathouse. Just going to play off of each other. They've got 1 flash on Kawa. That's it. So after the initial contact, that and 4 players swinging is the look.
I do love that, though, because LEV are going to be using a lot of their utility to get
flash
up where they were. And now they're not going to have that to flush them out of backside. Spike has been going off for a little while now. Sato greeted a free one, right? Because he's the chosen one. Why not? No bullets left.
Nice.
He still gets the knife kill, but I don't know that there's going to be enough for the round. Loud get it, but somehow Sato steals the story anyway.
Look, I don't even care if they lost the round. That was just entertaining. He just ran out of bullets on the Deeg. Got 1 kill with it. I'll give him that. Just a little bit wild.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, right.
Got 1 more time. I love first how he dashes into that smoke, and then, yeah, I wonder what he said there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
I
Robbie,
have no idea, personally.
Look, if you're a fan of the Loud IGL, you're a fan of Robbie.
Yeah. A little bit pacey here towards A. And it's a slaughter. As Robbie's going to have another reason to pop off and share and exchange kind pleasantries across the stage.
I think his front line there all got tagged up by the flash, so good anti-play from him. To be able to come in and save his teammates. But one thing I didn't actually catch in the pistol round, Sato has money for an operator. Glass off. I don't believe that Sato saved for that, looking for the money. You can just...
Hey! What are you looking at, buddy? What are you looking at, buddy?
We're looking at you now. But honestly, we're coming now into this round where Sato is going to have the op because he got those early kills that gave him enough money to buy this for round 3.
He's posted up in wine right now. Loud not really interested in exploring that yet.
No, instead trying to figure out what the mid hold is going to be after ignoring it in the first 2.
King is close. Is there any regress? There it is. He catches the timing. The spike hits the ground.
Yeah, they kind of failed the jet smoke into KO flash combo. The smoke ate up the flash. I made it oh so easy to pick off that kill, but keep your eyes on this forward mid insert from the Omen. With that drone going into B, it really looks like a B split right now.
Oh, that's going to give that away.
Yeah. We've got full awareness.
Yeah.
And especially the way LEV are holding over towards A, right? Again, that operator back in wine, then a very passive duo over there. They're fully giving over the tree space, fully giving over mid, and forcing Loud to sort of overstep their way into a site before giving a fight over. This camera, too, super annoying.
30 seconds left.
Sees the player creeping out.
And Dart, too.
Yeah, if that connects, there's an Odin here to spam.
And now they know. Lucia, no real choice but to push forward anyway. With just a couple of seconds left on the round, it's flawless as LEV get on the board. And more importantly, they keep the op and the Odin, all weapons carried.
It was a really dynamic round out of Leviathan, right? Because it started out with that sort of aggressive peak. I think that was Oki, right? Or no, sorry, that was King that stepped up onto Cat. And then once they got into the numbers advantage, the angles they took were so passive, so far back, that it sort of forced Loud to play very deep into the round.
Come on, I ran through my cage like a really...
Goes down.
Working down onto the clock, and then, yeah, they can just play from those positions beautifully.
Well, you mentioned the mess up on the play into tree.
Yeah.
That's a really good example of you have to execute. When the comps are the same and when the approach is the same, it all becomes a game of execution. And there, it didn't really go their way, and they were punished for it.
And King's the type of player that is going to step forward and take that little bit of a gamble to catch you on the timing, leaving the space.
Aggro trip out from Lucio and B main.
Yeah, this is Loud going into probably their default Ascent playbook, which is working heavy into mid, realizing, hey, the last round again, no one was really stopping us here. Beautiful counter spam. Takes Calm down to 18.
And now the deep smoke to deny some of that line. Doors open, so they still have passive info off the cam of mid. This is actually a great setup for LEV.
Now, Loud should not know that there's an operator in the field. It was purchased last round, but it didn't fire a shot.
Right.
And it's on the passive angle up to heaven.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unreal shot out from Verdi. Sato with the op buzzing right by his ear. Not finding its mark. The second dip might prove to be a little bit more successful as he's dangerously playing on the other side of smoke. Pancada punishes.
That's going to be the save call coming out.
Yep.
Operator picked up by Oki. We're getting out of dodge. And that's a really unfortunate way for the round to spiral away from LEV, right? Again, this op was supposed to be that checkmate move on the angle, but losing the first shot just on a spam through a smoke, was that? I'll have to see the replay.
It was off of King's flash.
Yeah, just crazy.
And then
Sato just got timing that, like, on these weird timings where he's moving, he's looking the wrong way, just barely pre-fired the shot into main. But giving that information over to Loud makes it a lot more simple to play these rounds out. You know, you put the anti-op protocols in place. You can't disrespect any of the early lines. It's going to force some of that respect out.
So the op was carried over into the next. You mentioned the Odin as well. Will continue to be a part of the conversation. should be able to buy up around a decent amount. There's that kill. Dude, like what?
Yeah, throws the paranoia and instantly starts swinging, so it might have honestly just been getting hit by the paranoia. We're returning fire.
Yeah. Ooh. A little flash setup, a little sharks.
It's trying to fake a forward fight, but it really is going to be Sato trying to post up in B main.
Cage triggered.
Now, Luxio's been throwing a tripwire there, right where he put down the cage that stops the forward posting from an operator. That's one of their anti-op plans, but I think with some fire back coming out of the defensive Cypher this time, he chose not to and just threw down the trip, pulled it back as a little fake piece.
Drone's going to get a decent amount of space up towards A long. And out onto the site, the dash is procced.
Oki still has the knife though, doesn't tag anyone. Thought that was going to stop the hit.
Yeah. Oh, even the passive presence of it may have.
Well, mollied himself, but Loud don't know that.
Well, then also, I mean, Purdy doesn't have dash anymore. He can't easily get out onto the site.
I really like that timing, taking the fight into short there. Once they realized that Loud, it was just a bit of fake presence in A main, they think, hey, there might only be 1 or 2 players on Cat. And they seize that opportunity beautifully. Now this forces Loud to step back into the mid space, really worry about someone creeping up bottom mid, up onto Cat itself, before going for this split hit. And when they do, their options are somewhat limited. Single flash, no paranoia.
There's the flash. Tom forced to take a step back. Oh, easy killer. There's a lot on the other side. What a door. Kong gets 2. Make that 3-4 on the round for the initiator.
That was crazy. The tag coming in there. So accurate. Did you just call him a dork?
Me?
I thought I heard that. He was for having the lineup. I love it.
No, I mean he was, but I don't think I called him a dork.
I'm hearing what I want to hear when I see a lineup like that. That is crazy.
Maybe I did. I don't
That's
think
funny.
I did. I'm not gonna.
You know
I didn't
what?
do that.
I'm putting words in your mouth. I didn't mean it.
Ooh,
That was my honest reaction.
baby.
Thanks, bro.
Early flash across A main and a dart too. So Lev fighting for some of this passive space. Look at how far up King is going too.
That's wild. And Tex is trying to play outside of the range of the ulti as well.
Yeah.
But his util has been shut off.
Big on Sato. Now they know the off is here, but push off the line.
Yeah, Sato's been struggling with that so far this map.
Yeah,
Early shots.
hasn't been nearly as effective, you're right.
Luxio now spotted away, and the rest of the fight is going to come in. This guy is boxed into a corner, still goes 1 for 1.
Calm gets a kill. The spike is planted on B, though. What's the retake attempt here for Lev?
Well, Calm has a Hunter's Fury. He's got a dart. He could be ready to go here to supplement maybe a bit of a counter ult as well.
It's so tough to tag onto the Jet. Off its mark, and now Calm is going to do a bit of the same, and this is so much easier. Calm gets count team, but Verdi fighting up on it. Getting a couple kills. King there to swing. And Calm cannot stand. What a round from the Jet.
I mean, the shock and awe takes your eyes off of it a bit with the double Hunter's Furies going back and forth. But it's Verdi, the silent assassin on stairs. Finding 4 kills into the round and seizing it back in control for Loud.
Beautifully played. They try to funnel out while the ult is going off, and
One enemy
Verdi
remaining.
took, I mean, almost 0 challenge.
Yeah, on 3 different angles too.
Yeah.
You got to be quick on those little micro adjustments.
Cage trigger.
And we're quick back into the next one. Luxio has been doing so much of this work into B, throwing down the cages, the cameras, the trips, all to stop early aggression. This time the rest of the team's behind it.
Verdi, I was going to say if he dashed up, he was going to get tagged, but Calm peppers him through the smokes.
What are we doing with an op here, though? We're doing that! We're taking his head off!
I don't know how Tex got that value, but it was exactly what was needed. I think it was off the cam. Sato for one eye. A great round for Lev.
Oh, that was sweet. Over in market, I mean, what? They're behind a smoke the entire time, right? First it's Calm, you know, hearing the dash in, getting the spam shot. Then it's another one, wallbang headshot with an operator. Some style too to finish it. Yeah, it was actually the tag up from the Cypher cam they had.
Robbie Burger King! Uncle Daddy!
Oh dear!
Get out of my way.
That's a tough nickname to shake.
That one might stick.
If he continues to call his way through this, though, he might just be all right. Loud's still up 1. But a bad buy. Verdi with blades. And again, they're going to try to hit B in again. All the text utilities here.
Cage triggered.
Verdi not going for the site, as a matter of fact.
Tucks in the smoke. Not getting tagged by any of the darts, any of this.
Oh, this is freaky.
Kill.
This is freaky, Doug. He's going for it, but doesn't find it.
Playing on the Knight's Edge. And ultimately punished. Calm looking for a free one. And they're still going to try to double down. They can't really go anywhere else.
Gonna have to check out the shoulder tomorrow.
And take a look at how awkward this feels. Look at the minimap. They don't have space out on site. They don't have space to rotate away. Louder stuck.
Oh, you are completely boxed in. The only way to fight is forward. They were just waiting for the smoke. Now they can look back into B.
30 seconds.
Dart was cleared. Top shot just off its mark.
Spike
But
down,
Calm is
B.
not. Robbie and Lucia left alone. And they will instantly fall. We're tied at 4.
LEV's entrenchment into this B site has been very challenging for Loud to break out of. You know, Loud are doing so much fighting into B main where they really haven't found a fight at all. And then it seems like they're a little bit lost as to how to deal with that Odin into back site. I mean, Calm is just destroying them this game.
Spike down B.
And it's mostly due to the fact that, like, Comac has support around him, right? It's not just him trying to play off his own utility. No, he's got the Cypher util on the ground. He's got players swinging out of smokes as he's taking contact to pull attention away from himself. And when you have distraction working around an Odin player like that, Calm's just going to tear you apart.
Now the question is here is we do have a timeout called. Surely Loud are going to be more interested in going A here, given how tough it's been on B. Do LEV go a step ahead of this and try to flip their defense A?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. One of my favorite plays coming out of a timeout like this, when you've shown an op so many times, is it's time to bust the Blade Storm, run an aggro piece yourself.
Yeah.
Sort of invalidate everything they've been saying during the timeout. But I'm not sure that's the style that King would like to call here. Or the style of this LEV team. We're still trying to get a read on how they're going to be operating with Sato and Okeanos in the mix. They haven't done a switch up yet. Sato is postured in mid. You know, I was thinking that Loud were maybe going to play a little bit more into the mid space. Sato might be thinking somewhat the same, but it's him over in Pizza right now, as opposed to taking a forward line.
Yeah, and they did move all the Cypher utility to A this time.
One off of the null command from Kalanzine. So he's going to put the util on A, but still play onto the B site, so that util won't be invalidated by the ult.
Sato already spotted by the drone. A deep smoke, and it's not just a threat. Verdi's gone exploring.
Ooh, Oki's real isolated here, but the camera gives him early information. Wait, Lucia just killed the Opera. What? What is happening?
Verdi went up a little bit too far.
I mean, there's a flash in from Kalanzine, but it caught Verdi, I think, not Oki.
Where is everyone?
So now Loud have to work back over into the A site where there's still that Cypher util that they haven't seen.
And the dart will delay it a little bit longer. Calm's utility has been so freaking good. Well, and then when you don't miss with the Odin, it certainly helps.
I mean, what? It's a repeat of the last time he was here.
Yeah, but there was no utility behind it. The guy just sees through walls.
He's just a knower of all things. And now while Loud
know
have finally
exactly
gotten the
where
tree
you
space,
are.
they put down the neural theft, which tells them B site is the place to go, but Tex is still here, and that cam still gives him some warning.
Calm held the
30
cross for just
seconds
a moment.
left.
Not a lot of time left in the round. Tex, the last one entrenched, out onto the site. What can you do to hang on to this? First shock will miss. There's no real way for him to
canceled.
punish. She did. And that buys just enough time. I don't think Robbie's going to be able to really find enough comfort to commit onto this. Every single option is a bad one for Robbie.
Even a paranoia coming in at the end. I mean, Lev just started pushing on every single angle. And again, it is calm. He is on fire. The 2 kills he picks up in tree that round. I just don't know what you're meant to do if you're allowed there.
14-4 so far out of comp.
Yeah, 3 players got pinged up initially. What did he mean by that?
That was well said. Really well said. He's just a modern day poet, I guess.
I don't know. You're just losing rounds. You're getting called Burger King. They're moaning at you. I just... what does that do to the mentality of a person, of a man on stage?
I don't know. It forces... I mean, it's something a lot will have to answer. A marshal for Robbie here.
Hoping someone swings into him back in mid right now. Feels like Loud have just never found the early fights they're going for, and then all of these fights, whether it's, you know, market or tree or onsite, it's like these second stage fights into round where usually it's after, you know, you've opened up with a kill or two. It's those lines that LEV have really been abusing frequently, and Loud just have not found the answers into it ever since the first few rounds.
But they still somehow through that find themselves within 1.
I will say, this is a cute camera up in top mid. It sees over that wall, so it's just spot rotates coming through. Loud aren't really in a position to capitalize off of that information because they're playing into main instead of mid to ping pong between the sites. Instead, they're just going to go for it straight on in, but there's Trips here.
He stepped over it. I don't know how we managed to dodge that. And so even with all the utility here, King gets flushed out. That 2 kills found for Loud. Oh, that's so tempting. Realizing it's an exercise of utility. Now 10 seconds left. They might be able to get the spike down.
Loud think they can win this round. That's an ult command. They're going for it.
Tex there punishing onto 1. The flash on the other side. Remember, it's just a marshal and 2 sheriffs. But as time ticks away, the possibility only grows.
Here come the knives.
Shocks on the other side. Oh, it's going to buy a little bit of time, but the knife is perfect. And all of a sudden, it's all on to Tex. To try to pull this round back, 44 HP.
He
misses
missed
the
it.
jump, gets 1 kill, but that's all. It'll be a thrifty response for Loud.
That was wonderful. I mean, both Luke shows kills, but also the utility from Kalanzine, right? Because that ultimate, all Sato wants to do is get into the play, right? He's got the op in his hand, so it's time to pull out the knives. Well, that ultimate, now there goes 10 seconds where I can't get into the site. And the second he jumps in, he has to switch to the shorty because there was a knife immediately following the null command. That was all Kawa there.
And then to make matters worse, Loud picked up the op. Now they have it into this next round. And it's in the hands of Verdi. What can he do with it here?
That's the question, because it almost forces you to play these rounds much more slowly. I'm surprised to see King stepping forward. There's a chance the attack side has an op. You don't take those forward lines. But seeing that presence into A tells LEV a lot about how Loud are playing this round. That op very likely creeping into mid. It's exactly where it's going to be.
Meanwhile, there was a flash and a fake TPA main. You would think
Another
that
one
Pancata is going to be further up, but you're right.
And these positions give LEV a checkmate effect into tree. If anyone steps in here, Okeanos is thinking about it.
Verdi gets tagged up, has to dash away.
Well, we're losing the clock now, and Sato is still in market. Still with support behind him.
Try to play around the smokes. You think he's gotten away, but again, it's a utility from Calm.
Oh, dear. Oh, it is vintage. It is vintage Calm.
really
His
is.
utility has been perfect. Supporting Sato has been there. Sato continuing to find kills, but it is that utility which has been unbeatable.
Pancata gets his 2 to keep things interesting, but LEV take the round, and once again, you're absolutely right. Calm has set up Sato beautifully. Sometimes it's individually, he's finding some of the value on his own, and other times he just sets up his duelist to go do things like that.
I mean, you see the dart, which tags 3 players, so that's a kill. Then his ultimate comes in for more. You think back to Bind as well, where consistently he's seizing players, getting ult combos with his Brimstone next to him. He is such an enabler for his teammates. The best guy to have at your back.
Different setup here from Tex. Back to B. I believe that early attack side knife only tagged Oki, so they may not know what's up A.
Standing ahead. High flash comboed with the dart. Hold on, A main.
That's a beautiful set of aggression, and again, I think it was off of that knife.
It was a double aggro look from Leviathan. They sort of faked this fight into mid with a dart flash combo, and at the same time, did that A look. That was really cute, and coming in on the last round of defense.
A beautiful punish. Loud forced to take a step back. Wait for utility to come back up, and then maybe they try to burst out onto A. That's gonna help.
There's multiple lines of defense. Sato still in main. That is a thing of beauty.
And to still have the presence of mind to drop the smoke, swing back out, 3 on the round. Can't pop the dash, he's gonna look for another.
Spike down.
And it is
A.
waiting on the other side. Valentine on the swing. Left to his own devices, a 1v3, a bulldog, a little bit of utility, sure, but no real way into this round. Doesn't even have the spike. That's a done deal. 4 for the duelist as Lev gets a 7.
Just a brilliant call coming out of King. Remember the round before this when he went for the walk up into A main? He saw what that hold was. I think he only saw one player when he went for that peek. So this time he calls his teammate over, Verdi goes to the boost play, and it just threw everything off kilter for Lev. It's wonderful.
Beautifully done.
It was a bit of a slower start early in the half for Sato as well, with the operator in hand, but he heated up big time towards the end. Him and Com both.
Those two will be a problem, will be a force to be reckoned with. Again, 7-5 for Lev. You've got Com, who's, as we mentioned, has played exceptionally well. Sato's starting to heat back up, and you take a look at the other side for Loud. There's not as much there. We've actually got Mimi standing by with a Loud sideline report. Mimi, take it away.
Thanks very much, Doug. There was a lot of questions around Loud when Brazil's best team picked up a Dutch IGL to take over the helm and completely changed their system to English. For Robbie BK, he talked in an interview to Fernando Schwab for Game Arena earlier, just a couple weeks ago, about the adjustment period. There he was saying that it was kind of tough. He was having to change how he played. The players who had never had to common English before had quite an adjustment period. But he talked then that they were improving, that people were becoming more comfortable, and he was finding ways to make those players be able to understand his full intent. And I was listening into them this half and can corroborate that. I think Robbie as a leader did a really good job of explaining his overall intent in terms that the entire team could understand and getting them on the same page early into these rounds. I think where there are still questions about how high this team's ceiling can be is around the fight comms and the mid round, because it is still players like Kao and Zine who are still calming somewhat in Portuguese during those moments, and you're having to rely a little bit on intermediaries like Verdi and Pencata who can step up and help run back and forth those ideas. It was working all right in that first half, but there's still a lot to show what the ceiling is for Loud and how much they can do with this new system. Let's hop back into the second half with Doug and Christy.
Thank you so much, Mimi. I think there is a lot to be said about this new system that Robbie is attempting to put into place, and when you take a look at this map right now, and it's a really good example of what Mimi was talking about. Loud are down 2 rounds, and you take a look on the other side, and Com is like 20,000 kills or whatever.
Yeah, approximately.
Roughly, yeah.
We're rounding down, actually.
Loud doesn't even have a member that's positive right now. And they're still in this fight. Again, a massive testament to the system that Robbie has put in place, as Mimi was saying.
A large part of that, winning the early pistol. Now they've got to win it here on defense. They're also looking a bit aggro here. Stepping into the mid space with a knife on tiles that doesn't see anything. And wow, Verdi and Kawa looking real sharp at the start.
Surprised that they wanted to retake that fight. Calm down to 13 HP. And there's just silence across the map.
It's kind of tough when in 10 seconds you lose 2 members.
Yeah.
And another. Rare you see that off-angle play, jumping up on the little box there. But sometimes a player gets a debut on the big stage, you get to see a little bit of extra flair, some of those tendencies that you dip back into.
I think one of the things that I want us to keep an eye on is when you think back to vanilla comps, when you think back to this tried and true, the defensive side was king. It reigned supreme on Ascent. And, you know, as we think about this pistol going their way, the fact that Loud have managed to stay in this fight, given that they're down, given that there's nobody really performing at a high level, it's kind of concerning there for LEV. A flawless for Loud.
Yeah, especially what it means to getting an operator online early. Yeah. That usually is sort of like they go hand in hand, right? If you're winning pistol on defense, that means your Jet has an op round 3, round 4. And that means that, well, your task as an attacker is just incredibly hard.
It's miserable to try to get around that, yeah.
But I think the other thing, listening to Mimi's their halftime report saying that, you know, things can maybe get a little bit muddier in the mid rounds, is how do these rounds look when it's not Loud going for an early active piece, right? When things start to fall apart, when LEV are throwing a lot of misinformation in, that becomes a very different story, and that's going to be one of the things LEV are going to try to exploit. That's 5 people.
Yeah.
I wonder where they are as Jet goes sprinting out of B main.
Yeah, look at all the space that Verdi's just taken.
Okay, but I love this though, because like we saw Verdi on a funky off angle the last round. Again, this is a weird spot. This is an angle you can play on like Yoru legally. I don't know about Jet.
But the he doesn't even have the dash procced.
Yeah.
Still gets away. No concern.
But then again, who in the right mind would play there? And he's going back. Why not?
Yeah, expires.
Okay.
3 kills found.
Don't ask where the spike is.
Yeah, that was eco frags.
I think if the map like wobbled, if there was an earthquake, if you could do that on a floating brick in the middle of the sky, it would just fall right off.
An earthquake on a floating brick.
Yeah.
In the middle of the sky.
These things can happen, Doug. You don't know they can't.
Right. Yeah. I really appreciate all the thought you put into that.
We're going to workshop. We're going to try it again next week.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not here next week either. That's why we're not trying it. This will be the test round, though. Loud don't have a terrible buy, I'm not going to lie. Couple of Guardians. But again, this is a round where Loud sees a lot of space right after the early presence. These are easy rounds. I want to see them succeed in the hard rounds.
Early knife to give Verdi a line. A flash and a dart. There's a lot invested into this fight, into this swing right here, and no reward.
Yeah, the one-way does get called in, so they still hold on to A. But you can see there's nothing in tree. They're now droning to try and spot this out. See a couple of players. And LEV are likely going to move away from this one.
You would think, but they're freezing here. I guess expecting a swing back out.
Yeah, I mean, LEV are reading that, or Loud are reading that LEV would leave. But this is getting a little bit funky. Maybe even trying to fake out the re-hit by bringing Calm's drone back over into A main. You can see, look, everyone on Loud is eating this up. The Ohm and the 2-player tree, everyone's turning back to the site. This is a beautiful mid-round from King.
Investing a smoke out towards main as well.
And they could even go back into A if they wanted. Like, if these players don't find anything or maybe even get a kill onto the site, it could just end up being an honest A hit.
That's exactly what it'll be, and all of a sudden it seems like Loud's patience may be rewarded. It is. I thought that was going to find its mark. Texas Air to get 2, though. LEV have forced their way out onto the site. 3 for the Sentinel. Pancada now down. And Lucia left in a 1v3. A Guardian in hand. King is weak. Ahead of the smoke, too. And no one's there to hold it. That's 1 kill found. That's the easy one, though. How much more can they find? That's all. It'll be Tex gets 4 as LEV take the lead back.
Man, Tex is such a safe pair of hands there for LEV. The round started getting really uncomfortable. They lost the first 2 players on the side exec.
Spike down A.
But then he just kind of has to enter the side himself. Kawa actually supported with a flash there that tagged the player back Jen.
Let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think this guy's heart rate has ever spiked?
I don't. I think that was him. I think that was him fired up.
Dude, this is the calmest guy in VCT.
Revealing area.
Tex already passively getting some control B main.
Ooh, Verdi has the operator on. So actually, in B main, used Robbie there to break a lot of that early utility to allow him to stay forward on this line. But that's the sort of counter-op trips that you can't get the super post. Ooh.
Well, how Tech survives that is wild to me.
Yeah, they're going to do studies on it.
So now they understand the op is B.
But that means trap on A, very likely.
Right.
And what that means for LEV is they have to split up 2 players now going into A main to make sure no one's back in wine or there's a little combo piece. But the combo's in tree, Doug.
And that's where the spike is headed too.
And there's a knife to potentially scout this. Only 1 flash to play off of. So it's got to count from Oki.
That knife is going to cause problems. That's going to give so much away. 30 seconds left on the round. You take a look at how far up
they're coming to
is
Birdie
already. But he's taking the line. Tex is now dead. The push and pull in mid is going to force Lev to go into B through mid.
And there's still 2 players that almost ran into Birdie. He almost went down. And now the pinch is coming in. The Jet on his other side.
Saw the pushing back threat. Robbie's there, but with 8 seconds left, there is no time at all. You're right. Beautifully played by Verdi. As soon as that knife tagged as many people as it did Tree, he knew he could take that line.
It's that second round when he had the Marshall in his hand coming back once again. He is seizing space. That's just insult to injury. Getting the shot at the final moment. Wow, they're starting to put it together now.
It's a defensive side of Ascent, man.
10 seconds left.
You gotta respect Sato just walking through the one-way there, but it is not enough to secure the round. That is like frame perfect. Him getting that kill, by the way.
All smiles in the Loud camp for Lev. Not the same set of joy, and it's not getting any better.
I love that little layer, though, right? Throwing down the molly on the ground from the KO, too. Expecting the fast play. That's exactly what that is.
And that's not the first time we see that, either. It's now 2 times in an eco where they dump that molly right outside of A main, and Lev are there.
It's a great protocol. Oh, hold on. What? Luke Show's alone on this A side all of a sudden.
And Calm has a rifle.
King.
Easy.
1 enemy remaining.
Bit off a bit more than they could chew. Now it's Oki who's got the rifle on his own. He will fall. And there was a little bit of interest there, but Loud stabilize.
Leviathan need to find answers to the opening skirmishes that they keep running into. And yeah, okay, a few of these rounds have been ecos. It doesn't really matter. You can wash those off easily. I don't think there's ever been a really comfortable round from Lev, at least on their actual execs into space. Even that round they won, round 3, that's the anti-bonus from them. And more importantly, that was Tex kind of going hero mode after a failed exec.
Right. So timeout from the side of Lev. And you're right. I mean, this is where you've kind of got to find a different way in. I mean, the defensive side has been so stalwart for Loud. You mentioned it, 4 out of the last 5 rounds. Verdi as an op. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, these are all the things you have to think about. You've seen that op in a few different places. Honestly, for me, I think Leviathan probably need to do a little bit less in terms of controlling A in the early rounds. Obviously, that's going to be in their mind immediately from the previous. But we haven't seen them test market so much when they're playing mid. Usually mid, they're always opening into tree first, and Loud are always having a couple of guys there ready for that. I'd like to see them start mixing up like their order of operations in mid, attack market, then go back into tree. Keep Loud on their toes a bit because these 3 stacks onto A just seem very simple for Loud to play with Lev's current game plan.
This might be a different look here from the defense too.
Yes, it is. 3 in mid. I think they might even paranoia B main too and make it look like something. Yeah.
There's the flash. That
Oh, it is something.
Much of something, but again, a belter of a shot from Birdie.
And those 2 players bought mid. They're protecting the opper pushing out Cat. 2 players post up, and they instantly get the trade kill there too.
And so on the other side of the timeout, as soon as the round starts, Lever down in a 5v3.
Yeah, it's hard to run those aggro plays when you have an operator in hand, but they made it look so easy. And another, why not? But this has been what's so successful for Loud in this half. It's all these opening round calls that Robbie is able to control, pass to his team in the pre-round, and they've just worked every single time.
My ultimate is
This
ready.
is a disaster for Lev. A flawless round on the other side of the timeout in a gun round. Your money's not
good.
great. You're back to busted.
I think Oki might have even had ult at the start of that round either. Just to like, you're looking to gear yourself up into an exec at some point, and these early pieces just keep flying at you. And, you know, Lev are a team that like to play a little bit more controlled usually on their attacking side. Work the map, test out mid, pivot between sites. Loud have not been giving them that opportunity.
Come on, bro. Come on. Let's go, bro. Come on. Come on. Come on.
But again, a bell throw a shot from Birdie. And there's 2 players bought. How in the world do Lev get through this? The bleeding seems insurmountable.
They're giving so much respect over after the mid play. Good shot out of Sato.
But remember, it's an eco, man.
Yeah.
The one danger here is if you overcommit, if you overpeak a little bit, just barely avoiding the punish there.
Oh, we're over peaking all right. We're going for it, Doug.
It's such a fine line. It's such a fine dance. But Luccio's arrived. Tex is now dead. I think if you're Lev here, you can get away with the fact that you haven't had to invest a ton into this.
Oh, but you are dead. You're so dead.
Remaining.
Loud, you think about it too, right? We've seen the walks down out of B from Verdi whenever there's information known. Loud are constantly, when they see a stack of players, they are punishing, walking out of A, walking out of B, and trapping Lev in the center of the map.
We talked in the early rounds of this half about how concerning it might be. Given that Loud won the pistol, given what we know about how these comps work on defense on this map in particular, and unfortunately for Lev, it's playing out exactly as we'd expect.
Yep. Loud just running away with it. And even this will be frustrating because it seems like Leviathan, they want to work into the mid space, see what the holds are going to be like.
Come on. Let's go.
This feels must win for Lev.
We're into it.
He's already TP'd all the way back side. Sato's dashed out. But the problem is, Loud have so many retake ults here. They've got Calentine's ult. They've got Robbie's ult.
But they're rushing, Doug. They were way in front of that play. There's flanks coming in from Loud. Pancada's looking for that. But it'll be a 4-on-4. And Okeanos can rip the null command. No, take your gun out. Calm gets the kill.
Meanwhile, Robbie popping his own ult, looking for the tag, will connect. But it's all onto Robbie now. The good against good goes the way of Lev. We talked about this being a must-win round. And it was brute force, but it worked. I think more importantly, Calm hangs on to his ult too.
But these are the rounds where Loud just looks like they're doing a few different things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
As soon as it's Lev seizing control over the game, saying this is where we're fighting, we're going quick into the B site, getting behind enemy lines. That's where all of a sudden, wait a second, is Verdi fighting too far forward? We're trying to get in front of that play when we have the ultimates, like you were mentioning, to go for a retake. Got punished in the process.
In the fight. Who are we to disobey?
Still plenty of money on the side of Loud, no love lost.
Yeah, that was an ult ripped. You know, both in the exec with the Omen in the post plant. Pancada just not being prepared for Calm. Calm was going for his classic reflank there, by the way. You always got to be ready for that.
19 and 10 for him, by the way. Slowed down a little bit, but truth be told, all of Lev has.
Yeah, but these are the rounds he gets to have fun. Hunter's Fury in his pocket. If his team is planting the spike, he can have a field day in the post.
See if that shot clears anything. Did not. Cam Trip still up.
I think that landed on lane there to hit a deeper tripwire.
Do they dare swing into Verdi here?
I mean, if they see him, Calm can instantly react with the Hunter's Fury, and there's only one real direction for Verdi to go, boxed in the corner like that.
That's so hard to hit, though. I mean, you've got a Jet with up dash, or up trap, you have dash, but never mind. It's actually them who are aggressing. Luccio's there to hold the line.
Whoa!
Make that three!
Spike down.
What a hold from the Sentinel!
enemy remaining.
What a hold from Loud! The ace on the cards! And Calm is the lamb to the slaughter. Cowan's there on the swing. Calm will get his. But but it might just be poetic. An eye by power ace as Loud gets to map point.
What a hold. I thought everyone in the server, everyone spectating was distracted by Verdi in the corner there with the operator in hand. It was actually Luke Show who was fully flashed up, but wasn't cleared in the corner. And that's not an opportunity you can give the man on the screen right now.
23 and 11 after that ace.
By the way, blowing a kiss to Sato on the other side of the stage, who was giving it right back to him. They're having fun up there.
Loud certainly are, yes. Maybe not as much fun in the LEV camp. Timeout is
That's
called
where you're
here.
wrong. I turned around right after the play, and Sato is literally having fun. Like, I got what, you got what, we're trading them back and forth. Like, it feels light and refreshing for Loud, for LEV, I think, even when the going is getting a little tougher here in the second map.
Which reminds me of the conversation that King was having with his team before the series started. Right? You make mistakes, you move on. You
Right.
don't worry about it, you just focus on the next round, and you imagine that's part of the conversation here. The problem for them is there aren't a whole lot, there's not a whole lot of room left for next round.
No, not when it's 12-9. And this is, I think, opportunities where your rookie players are getting tested, right? Because it's no surprise.
Right.
Sato and Okeanos, they were dominating the scoreboard back on Bind. That debut coming hot, the momentum's pumping, you're feeling it. Much quieter start here in the second map. So how do you pick yourself back up from that, both to come back in this map? If we go to a third, show what you've got.
So keep an eye on where they're set up right now. Remember how many times we've seen the Molly right off the rip push off some of that early A aggression.
Right.
All of the Cypher util is here.
But this time, no Molly, just going to be the knife shown early.
2 trips and the cam. Passive info gathered by the knife.
Paranoia, here we go.
You fight out into tree, that's exactly what you do. Sato's trying to find his mark, but he cannot as Luke Show gets another. And again, Pacey on the other side of the map from Verdi.
Yeah, Verdi fully pushed up onto the flank. The rest of Loud are taking their time, waiting on the retake, but there's no ultimates to play off. It's just going to be a Paranoia and 2 flashes from Kawa.
Robbie getting a tag with the drone. Spike still not comfortable.
Doug, Verdi is going all the way around to flank with the operator now.
Or at least box them in, hold the line, play contained. Deny that exit route for
Spam
LEV.
kill from heaven?
Pancada trying to tag onto another. It's just stalled out so much for LEV. They're in such an uncomfortable spot. And again, Verdi is the insurance policy here.
Calm is always ready for the flank. Now there's no more of that threat left. They're not concerned at all. Robbie jumps down into the thick of things.
Pancada left in a 1v2. Tap after tap after tap of the spike.
20 seconds.
Sons of Hands of King, and now the cutting of noise to introduce doubt. The tiniest of slivers. And Pancada was biting on it, now rotating back out onto the side. A 1v2. 1 smoke to speak of. No flash. Comes there with the op.
Of course, Calm is going to pick up the operator from the slain Verdi over an A main. That was a very nicely controlled post plant from Leviathan. They had a tripwire that gave no space outside of that destructible door.
What, but did that feel controlled? I mean, if Verdi doesn't die on that flank, I think the round goes a different way.
No, you're right, you're right. I think the round got really uncomfortable because of the spam kill we just saw Robbie get from up in heaven. If Robbie doesn't get that kill, Spike's going on the ground 20 seconds earlier.
Yeah, true.
That flank is nowhere near in time. It was that kill that made it so teetering.
Yeah, that's a very good point. 2 ops on the board here. Tex has an op to try to match Verdi's, who's currently rotating back to A.
Funky. There's a forward trip in mid. No one's actually playing off of it, though. Unless Loud choose to step out into Cat after this push comes in.
This is real. I think they're committing into this a little bit. The spike is back towards B main. You have a trip you're going to have to reckon with. Only 1 ult on the map, and it's Loud. The neural theft is Lucha has to take a step back. Now you see smokes coming through to provide a little bit more cover, at least attempt to. No commit yet. What a snap from Sato. Some more work to be done as Robbie's showing the walls closing in. You see the smokes, you see the flashes, but it might be too little too late as Verdi and Pancada.
King's pushing on the flank, and no one's waiting for him. Kawa turns around for just a moment. as he bides his time.
A little bit of tension built into the moment as King looks to play his cards as perfectly as he can. Meanwhile, for Loud, all attention forward. Calm as a dart, waiting for the right time to use it, now does.
King's already here.
The flash connects. It's all onto King on the flank, but he's not able to settle onto the last. The kill was there, but he cannot connect. We're going the distance. We're going to Icebox.